Welcome to the next video in our BuildSMART Revitt Panel Families Guide. BuildSMART Revitt Panels 401, Standard Details and how to edit them. We've shown you a couple glimpses of the standard details included in the BuildSMART Revitt template in previous videos. In this video, we will go more in depth and explain each of the standard details and how and what you can and should edit in Scheme. All the details that we will show you today are drafting views, and most of the elements are pinned. We will point out the unpinned elements that you are suggested to edit to match your project. There are 5 details on this sheet, and let's start at the beginning with detail 1, the BuildSMART basement system. This detail gives you an overview of an isometric wall section, showing how the panels, floor framing, basement wall, and slab come together. At the top, we have the BuildSMART panel system with exterior and interior finishes shown. You can change the exterior cladding note if you prefer to call out your specific type of cladding. The panels ship with empty stud bays, and these get insulated in the field just like a normal site-built stud wall. We have unfaced fiberglass batt insulation noted here, but that can be changed to match your personal preferences. Please keep in mind the vapor profile of the wall, and that since the EPS layer of the BuildSMART panels is an effective vapor barrier, these walls must dry to the interior. We do suggest that you contact us if you have any questions about this or what type of insulation you should use on the stud base. The floor framing is noted as specified to direct people to look at your framing plan for the exact floor framing type used in your project. It is drawn as a floor truss, and if you would like to edit this to show your preferred floor framing, you can just unpin those elements and draw in your correct framing if desired. You can see the BuildSMART precast wall system with the layers peeled away, along with the furring required by most building codes to protect the exposed foam insulation. Please consult your local building code requirements. We are going to skip down to detail 4, which shows a close-up at the top of the basement wall and first floor. This gives you a good view of how all the panel pieces work together at this intersection. The key points to review are the locations of the BuildSMART sealants and tapes, and that the floor framing cavity should be filled with your preferred insulation, extending a minimum of 3 feet towards the interior to help prevent thermal bridging at the rim joist. You can change the notes for the interior wall finish and floor finish system if desired. You can also customize the exterior finish if you are using something other than clapboards over a rain screen, and would like to accurately show that. The floor truss can also be changed to match your desired framing type. Now we will go back to detail 2 and take a look at the footing detail for a below-grade basement. This detail shows how the floor slab sits on top of the poly air barrier and how the air barrier gets sealed to the BuildSMART precast wall system with wig glove tape and dock skin primer. It also shows footing drains, although those will be located and required. It's based on your local requirements and building codes. Note that there is pressure treated blocking inset into the EPS foam on the basement wall that is required in areas with 48 inches or more of backfill for reinforcement purposes. Next, we have the slab penetration detail for most types of penetrations. This detail shows how the poly boot gets taped to both the air barrier and the penetrating item to ensure a complete air barrier. Now we will go to detail 5, which is very similar to detail 2, except it is used in areas with less than 18 inches of exterior backfill and for walk-up basements. You can see the additional rebar tie to connect the precast wall system with the cast-in-place floor slab. Let's move to the final detail on sheet T102, which shows how the roof frames into the wall panels. One key point to note here is the rigid air barrier that is installed over the top plate and attached to the bottom of the trusses. As you can see, there's a separate strip of the rigid air barrier, which can be OSB or plywood, and is attached to the top plate before the trusses are set, and then gets taped to the BuildSMART panels and taped to the rest of the air barrier that gets installed once the trusses are in place. All the panel seams get taped or sealed to ensure a continuous air barrier. A rigid air barrier is used because it is more durable and resistant to accidental punctures when compared to a membrane-type air barrier. The trusses are secured to the panels with structural truss screws from below to prevent penetrating the air barrier with hangers or clips. 2x4 furring is installed below this air barrier to create a chase for running utilities without disturbing the critical air barrier. The exterior wall finish and fascia and soffit graphics and notes can be changed to fit your project's requirements. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to our channel and visit buildsmartna.com for more information.